Hi, my name is Stephanie Lambert, and I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Homeschool Coalition, and I am the daughter of Tim Lambert, who is the president of THSC. We are getting a lot of questions and hearing some concerns about the UIL Equal Access bill that's in the legislature as we speak. So we wanted to take a little bit of time and talk to you about the specifics of the bill, some frequently asked questions, and why it is that we are doing what we're doing. So first of all, my family started homeschooling in the 80s before homeschooling was officially legal. My mom actually had a plan for us that if someone knocked on the door, we knew to go hide in the closet in case it was the school district, because my parents didn't know if they would be going to jail for their decision to homeschool us. So the freedom to homeschool is something that my parents fought for. It's very precious to our family. It means a lot to us. And it's what THSC continues to operate under today. So why do we believe that the UIL Equal Access bill is worth fighting for then? Well, number one, we believe in freedom. We believe that God gave children to parents to raise and to educate them, and we believe that parents should be empowered to make decisions for their kids, not the government, not other families. So we believe that this is an issue of freedom. We also believe that there are needy people who need this. There are people in rural areas who have no other options. There are people in metro areas who cannot afford it. And these families are forced to choose between a good education for their child or potentially life-altering extracurricular opportunities. We believe in standing for the needy. Another reason we believe that the UIL Equal Access bill is important is because we believe it's good for the homeschool community. The best defense is a good offense, and history in Texas homeschooling proves that. So people like my dad in the 1980s worked alongside Shelby Sharp to take an offensive position to pursue homeschool freedom. And they filed the Lambert versus Arlington lawsuit. They sued all the school districts in the state of Texas. And there were actually, at that time, homeschoolers who did not want them to do it. They actually opposed them and said, this is going to cause us more regulation. But those people took an offensive position. Shelby Sharp, who's THSC's general counsel today, people like my dad who were going and supporting those issues, pioneers of those times, they took an offensive position. And eventually, after many appeals in 1994, the Lambert decision was won. And what that decision says is that homeschooling in Texas is legal. But the next challenge that came is there was nothing that said, how is homeschooling legal? So again, we took an offensive position to pursue freedom. And my dad went and talked to the Texas Commissioner of Education in 1995. And he told them, we have a problem. Homeschoolers across the state are still being harassed because although homeschooling is defined as legal through the Lambert case, there's nothing that says how it's legal. So he asked the Commissioner of Education to institute a policy statewide so it would be consistent. So the commissioner asked my dad to write a suggested policy, which he did. And he took that to the commissioner. The commissioner took that policy and word for word implemented it through the Texas Education Agency and applied it to all school districts across the state of Texas. Those two things are what homeschoolers today in Texas operate under. And it's because the pioneers, my dad and Shelby Sharp and many others, took an offensive position. We believe that it's important to take an offensive position for families to have freedom in Texas. We believe that this bill expands freedom for homeschoolers. It will not affect homeschooling at all for anyone who chooses not to participate in it. It only opens up more freedom and more opportunity for the people who want to participate in it. There's actually language in the bill that says, nothing in this section shall be construed to permit an agency of this state, a public school district, or any other governmental body to exercise control, regulatory authority, or supervision over a homeschooled student. We had asked that this be put into the bill because we wanted to ensure that this bill would not be used to further regulate homeschooling. We believe that this expands freedom. This is a great offensive position. So why do some homeschoolers oppose this bill then? Well, there are some who say that when you define homeschooling in the law, it's going to highlight us and it's going to make us vulnerable. That isn't true. And the reason that I say that is homeschooling is already defined in several other places of the law. For instance, when we pursued the ability for homeschoolers to participate in PSAT tests or in dual credit classes, homeschooling is already defined in various places of the law, and it has not hurt the homeschool community, and no one is using it to try and further regulate homeschooling. That just hasn't happened, and it isn't the case. Another reason some people don't want this is they say that this is a slippery slope toward more regulation for homeschooling. Again, we say that's just not true, and that's because the facts don't support it. There are 35 other states in the country who already have, in my opinion, what's more freedom than we have in Texas, and they have this kind of legislation. None of those states have seen any increase in homeschool regulation. Even some of them have improved in their homeschool regulations since those kind of things took place. Also, there are 7 low regulation states like Texas, similarly haven't seen any increased regulation. So there's just no data to support that, and we believe the best defense is a good offense. We believe this is good for the homeschool community. Another reason that we believe the UIL Equal Access bill is worth fighting for is because we believe it's good for homeschooling. While there may be some families that choose to return to the public schools, there is both anecdotal and quantitative research to suggest that there are many more families who have wanted to homeschool but have to this point opted out due to the limited access to extracurricular activities. Representative Frank is a homeschool dad himself, and he was arguing to the legislature that if public schools have a good product, that they should be willing to try and win students back. And based on this, we believe that more families than ever will choose to homeschool as a result of this legislation. THSC, my family, our team, has always opposed the regulation of homeschooling, and we always will oppose the regulation of homeschooling. We have always pursued freedom for families and for homeschoolers, and we will continue to do that. We believe that the UIL Equal Access bill is consistent with that premise, and we will continue to fight for freedom for families. Who has it been that's supporting this bill? We actually asked for a scientific poll of the homeschool community to be done, and Ragnar Research conducted that poll. And that poll said that 77% of the homeschool community wants this kind of opportunity. We did another survey in 2019 where people said extracurricular opportunities was the #1 resource that they needed for their families. So we are listening to the homeschool community. We are fighting for those who can't fight for themselves. We're fighting for expansion of freedom for families in Texas. We hope that this helps answer some of your questions. If you have more questions, feel free to contact us. We're actually going to do a roundtable on Zoom this coming Monday night at 7 p.m. So check out the information in the details of this video, and we'll answer questions for you if you have them. Thank you for what you do to help keep Texas families free. Please share this video and help us spread the word.